What's up, guys? Today we've got another set of speakers to check out. These are some speakers I've been wanting to check out actually for a long time. These are the Dali Rubicon LCRs. It stands for left, center, right. So you can actually use any one of these for any one of those speaker positions, either left, center, or right. So let's get them unboxed and see what we get inside. So these are actually made in Denmark. I believe all the parts are made by those guys as well. Inside the box, we get the instruction manual and some little rubber bumpers. Speaker is fairly light. No idea. I know I requested black, so we'll see what color we get here. And that is definitely not black. That's for sure. This looks like it's a walnut. Let me look at the rest of the boxes here. And it does indeed look like these are all walnut. Probably not my first choice to go into a totally blacked out dedicated theater, but that's what it is. Close up of this, the wood veneer here. This actually looks like it's a kind of a printed walnut wood laminate. So not actual wood, so kind of like a faux wood finish. Let's remove the grill. These grills are held on with little pressure fittings here. So the driver complement, we've got one 6.5-inch woofer. It's got a nice little rubber surround, which is interesting. What is cool, you can actually see the little fibers in the driver itself. And it does match the actual enclosure. It's a little bit darker, so it gives you a nice little contrast between it. And then we have the little high frequency module. This actual whole thing, if you wanted to kind of mount the speaker sideways for like a center channel, you can actually unscrew this, loosen this up, and tilt it sideways. I think there's a little picture of it on the box here. This box here, everything is kind of upright, but you can twist it around, so that way you can have everything mounted vertically, horizontally. But as far as the whole high frequency components, we have, so not only do we have a ribbon tweeter, we also get a 1-inch soft dome tweeter as well. So 2 high frequency drivers. So I am kind of expecting some really good transparency from these speakers. And frequency response for these guys, I believe is 59 Hertz to like 34K. Around back, we have your binding posts. Nice quality. I've not seen binding posts quite like that before. Very grippy, very nice quality actually. So this is a ported speaker, and the interesting thing about this is when you think of a ported speaker, you might think there would be a port maybe on the front somewhere or in the back using a gigantic hole, but no holes here. It's actually designed on the bottom. So since this is going to lay flat against your wall, the ports will actually shoot downwards. So the port will give you some extra extension. So nice way to design that, very interesting way. So when you mount this on your wall, you can actually run the cables through these little notches, either from the bottom or the top, or if you're mounting it sideways like so, you could actually run the cables up this way as well, over to the binding posts. So really nice design elements here to keep everything nice and flush to your wall. And of course, these are little screw hole slots screwed in there, this way or this way. So pretty cool mounting options. I've actually got 5 of these. So I'm going to put these in my theater. 3 of them are going to go behind the screen for left, center, and right. And then the other 2 I'm going to probably place either probably in the back of the room or most likely to the sides of the listening area. For setup, the speakers are going to be hooked up to a Trinnov altitude processor and a McIntosh amp. I'll be playing demos with a Zappiti media player and an Apple TV. Since this is a review on the speakers themselves, I'm not going to use any subwoofers. I want to hear how good the bass is on these speakers without any help from the subs. I'm also going to turn off any room correction and only set levels and distances. These are going to go in my dedicated theater space, and I'm going to be placing them behind a Stewart Filmscreen Harmony G2. It's an acoustically transparent screen, so you're not going to see the speakers in the video. And the surround speakers are going to be placed off to the sides of the seating area. First demo I popped in was A Quiet Place Part 2. Seeing as these have extension up to 34 kHz, I wanted to see what kind of atmosphere these can reproduce. Now, as reference point, my everyday speakers are the Bowers & Wilkins CT 7.4s, which I think is a neutral if not a bit warm sounding speaker. The Dali's in comparison has a much more detailed high end that gives this movie a more airy open presentation. Kinda made my B&W sound flat. I was hearing more insects in the background, which seemed to reach several feet behind my screen, and also really deep into the surround channels. The ribbon tweeters were giving me this layered soundstage with impressive depth that I hadn't heard with my B&Ws. Not that the B&Ws are bad, these just sound more three-dimensional. And being all the exact same speaker in every location, as the camera pans, the effects move perfectly from speaker to speaker. It's not like having small surround speakers and big speakers up front, cause they're gonna sound different. Having identical speakers is gonna give you perfect timbre matching, and that's important for the most cohesive surround. Next, I threw in Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's a conversation between Steppenwolf and Darkseid that happens about midway in the movie. These two guys have some very deep voices which should hit very nicely in the mid-range area.
And all of existence shall be mine.
These didn't have quite the gravitas as I thought they would. I've listened to the scene on some larger center channels and speakers, so I know the kind of weighty vocals that should be playing out of the center. The Dalis don't have enough to give these bad guys the deep, manly alien voices they should have. They sounded more like little kids rather than full-grown men. Therefore, it's highly recommended you cross these over to a dedicated subwoofer.
And all of existence shall be mine. It shall be so, my master.
Next demo I threw in was The Tomorrow War on Amazon Prime. This movie has bass that's cranked all the way up to 11. Given the size of the speakers, I doubt anyone would think these would pump out any meaningful amount of bass down low, and they certainly don't. They're only rated to 59 Hz, and I think it's safe to say that that's correct. Just like in the Justice League demo, it's highly advisable to pair these up with a subwoofer. That said, once again, the surround envelopment with just 5 speakers was a sonic perfect match, with effects that would seamlessly track between each speaker. At the time of this video, a single Dali Rubicon LCR sells for $1,400. I'd say the weak point for these speakers is their bass response, and the mid-range is a bit lean. I'm sure if you're buying these for a home theater setup, you already know, given the size, that you're gonna need a subwoofer or two. The strong point is that sweet high-end treble response. Not only did I use these in my theater for movies, but I did try them out for music as well. They image incredibly well and throw a solid center image for stereo use. Adding one for center channel duty anchors dialogue, but also adds to the impressively deep soundstage, not only inwards, but outwards to the left and right as well. Having 2 tweeters I thought might add a little harshness up top, but I didn't get that at all. Like I said, it was pretty sweet sounding and gave these movie soundtracks a large, airy, atmospheric, extended presence. Comparing them to my own speakers, I found these were on the brighter side of neutral, and that's a sound I really do like. I thought the amount of detail coming from the Rubicons were nearly as good as what I'd heard from the beryllium tweeters found on the much more expensive full-cal Sopras, and that's some impressive company. If you're considering putting a home theater together and don't want to give up a lot of space or want a very simple minimalistic setup, the Rubicon LCRs will give you an incredibly big, ultra-detailed surround experience. I'm sure if I had 11 of these for a full immersive Atmos setup, it'd be a tough system to beat. Don't forget though, you will need a subwoofer. Well, what are your thoughts on Dali speakers? Have you ever heard a pair, and how do you think they sound? leave a comment down below and let us know. As always guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like the video if you found it useful and tap the subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll see you again in the next video.